Actually, in our third week of keto, most likely it is not fat that you gained when you're gaining weight. It's actually water weight or glycogen storage. It isn't just a keto journey for me anymore. Hey everybody, so we are officially in our third week of keto. If you haven't seen my first month, this is it right here. And then also we have just completed our second month right here of keto. And I just want to say my first 2 months of keto were really focused on fat loss and eating at a calorie deficit, pretty much cutting the fats. This time around, this month as well as my next month of keto will be focused on maintenance. So pretty much this is the part where we're gonna be kind of recomping. We're gonna eat what our body needs, and then we're gonna build muscle on top of that. So hopefully as our muscle grows, our fat is going down. This is actually gonna be one of the much more harder to see results portion of keto, just because as you build muscle, while you're losing fat, you tend to not really see a difference on the scale, which is why I have a special scale that I've been using throughout this whole process. Actually, I've only been using 2 items throughout this whole process, which is the Fine Life Smart Weight Scale. This one gives me details not just about my weight, but my body fat percentage, etc. And it's not too expensive. And then also just a regular tape measure so I can measure out my waist. If you are looking to measure out other parts, you can as well. But overall, this month is really about getting myself to eat a bit more, since I've been on a calorie deficit for 2 months. And once I get myself accustomed to that, go straight into eating a lot more, eating in surplus weight, so that way we can get gains. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know for myself, to go from a calorie deficit to sudden surplus, it doesn't work well for me. So right now, calorie deficit, maintaining, and then surplus. And that's gonna help me get more and more accustomed to the changes. So this time around, we're eating a little bit more. We're gonna maintain what we have, and we're going to build muscle on top of that. So we'll get back in the gym soon. Right now, I just want to spend at least the first week getting myself accustomed to eating more. Now, since this is my 3rd month of keto, I want to show you guys where I left off, that comparison to where I started. So this comparison right here is between my very first, before I even started keto. This was literally my first day of keto versus where I ended last month. End of last month was yesterday for me. So these are the results right here. This is where I started overall, and then this is where I am starting now. So as you can see, we lost a bit overall. This one is gonna be a bit tricky, because if I'm eating at maintenance and I haven't eaten at maintenance for a while, my body might wanna store it as fat, because it's like, you're not used to this, we have extra. So with that being said, that is why we are going to work out as well. So we can say, no, this is what we need, this is how our body is, and we can actually manage it before we go straight into surplus. So I know I repeated myself a lot, but it's very important that we really take care with these next 2 months, or at least with this month in general. The following month, maybe because our body is used to it, it won't be as much of an issue. But yeah, let's go on to our day 1, which we're kind of technically at. So here we are with day 1, and I definitely want to say that as I have been planning out my meals all day. I've actually been a bit more excited because I get to eat a bit more, and I feel like that's actually going to help me maintain what I have better. I don't know if you noticed, but if you are scared about gaining weight or anything like that, don't be, because what we're going to be doing is building that muscle. In order to build the muscle, you need to eat a bit more. That way your body can build the muscle. And always remember, muscle weighs twice as much as fat. So if that scale goes up, there is a chance that it is muscle that you're building and not fat that you're growing. And so you can't be afraid of the scale. Right now we just have to go hard with the workouts, with everything, so that way we can be in the best shape of our lives. And definitely one thing that's going to get me through this 2-month period of maintenance is really taking into account not just my weight, not just my body fat percentage, but how I'm feeling in the clothes. So overall, when it comes to eating a bit more, I won't lie, I'm happier about it. I'm a bit nervous as well because I have to balance it out with working out, staying active, and really challenging myself to do that and be more consistent with it. But in terms of eating a bit more food, it's definitely a lot more helpful. I'm still gonna kind of separate out my meals a bit more. That way I'm not just eating in bulk 3 times a day, but more like maybe a nice small meal one time, a snack, another small meal, a snack, just to get me throughout the day, but also keep my metabolism going up. So that's really the game plan right now for this month. That's really how today has gone. And we are definitely going to make hopefully some physical progress outside of just losing fat or burning fat. So this is going to be a challenge, but we can get through it. So we're here at day 2, and I definitely want to say that eating at maintenance, it has definitely been oh my gosh, I don't even know the words. It has been wonderful. I feel like I have a lot more energy, and I am able to not just put more energy out there and work out more or be more active. Overall, I feel like my head is a lot clearer, a lot better. I do want to just put this out here because I am a bit on the shorter scale. My basic metabolic rate is around like 1250, 1285. So when I am eating at a calorie deficit, without working out or anything, that actually puts me kind of into the starvation mode kind of thing, just because my body needs like at least 1200 calories, basic sedentary, just to survive. And of course, under 1200 calories can put you into starvation mode. And into starvation mode, it really just depends on your body as well. But definitely, you don't really want to go too much below that. So one of the ways I was kind of working with that was I would be in a calorie deficit, but I'd also try to work out so that way I could eat a bit more and keep myself out of that starvation mode area. But with maintenance, I love it. I love it so much. I feel so much better, and I can eat what's needed for my body, and I don't have to worry about being in starvation mode whether I work out or not, because no matter what, my body's getting enough calories that it's needed on a sedentary lifestyle in order to survive. So that is a huge plus for me when it comes to maintenance. And then also I'm feeling a bit more encouraged because I'm noticing like a lot of posts out there where women are like, I used to eat like 1200, 1300 calories, and I was like skinny fat, but then the more I ate, the more muscle built and the more defined and slimmer and toned that they look. So it's actually making me feel really, really wonderful about it. So day 2 has me beyond hopeful. grateful, thankful, and really, really appreciating my food more. I definitely want to say my 2 months of being in a calorie deficit has actually helped me restrain how I eat, even if I'm taking in carbs or anything. And that's actually helping me a lot with maintenance, is that I'm not overindulging now that I am able to eat a bit more food. So really excited for how this month is going to be. And I'm also noticing a lot more definition in my abdominals. It's still a chubs there, but it's defined chubs. And even though I was upset last month because I kind of ended up at the same weight that I started at for last month, the difference is still staggering. There is a lot less fat in certain places, so still excited, still looking forward, and I think me actually eating a lot more is gonna start to make huge differences, especially with the gym. Hi everybody, so we are here on day 3. As I've mentioned before, eating more food is actually making me feel better. I feel like I'm stronger when it comes to working out. I feel more focused. I am not as frustrated with certain things. And I am able to manage myself better. And that's super important to me, especially on this keto journey. So this is like the next chapter, next phase, and we are eating a little bit more. So going forward, I just really want to take my time with it, enjoy the process of eating a little bit more food. I'm not gonna lie, because I know I could eat a bit more, I have been trying out new meals, adding new things to meals, whether it's like, oh, hey, you got like chicken, add some avocado to it, some cheese, whatever works for you. Make the meals nicer now that you can eat a bit more, but still stay within that carb ratio. And I'm actually finding that it's a bit easier now to stay within that carb limit when you know what not to go for and you accept that you aren't gonna go for that in a while. So we're making progress, we're improving on our meals, and definitely in the long run, I don't think I'll be eating carbs as much. Sure, I might snack every once in a while once keto is done, but I think overall, when it comes to carbs, I definitely feel like I have a lot more control over it, and I am so grateful. So I wanted to take some time out today to just remind you all that it is okay if you're going from a calorie deficit to maintenance. It is okay if your weight goes up, because that's expected. Partially because, one, your water intake in your body is going to go up, and then also your glycogen, your glycogen is also going to go up. And then on top of that, you're eating more than you were before. And I know it's scary, trust me. I have panicked and panicking, but I am constantly telling myself that it is okay. Your first 2 weeks, you're going to kind of gain maybe 5 pounds, maybe less. But after that, your body's going to adjust to it, and then you're going to start losing the fat if you stay consistent. Now, 2 weeks, I know for a lot of you is a long time. However, if you could get past those 2 weeks into a third, you're definitely going to see a lot more differences. And this is actually the part that makes it harder for people to go into maintenance and gains, is because that scale goes up and it causes you to panic, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I spent 2 months, 3 weeks, 6 months on such a restrictive diet. But yeah, it's really important to eat at maintenance. It's actually going to do a lot better for you in the long run. And then it's also very important, when you do build muscle, to go at gains. I know it's hard seeing that scale rise, but trust me, if you are counting your calories and you are eating within your maintenance and you're not really eating on a surplus over any of that weight gain that you get is honestly just water and glycogen stores, and your body is going to use that up. And watch, in like 3 weeks, you're going to just go and look and say, wow, I lost so much more fat, I'm eating a lot better, I'm not as cranky, and all those things. So do not beat yourself down if your weight is going up. And you guys are gonna see it with me, because my weight is going up this week. It's probably gonna go up next week, but I almost guarantee you my body results at the end of this month is going to be a lot better. So let's keep hanging in there. These first 2 weeks are literally transition weeks. It's going up and down and up and down, and that is okay. I promise you, it is okay. So, yeah. I'm going through it with you. You're going through it with me. We'll get through it together. So, I will be as clear as possible with you. Right now, I am feeling super sluggish. I'm not sure if it's because I'm eating more and I'm getting more tired, or I'm just overloaded with everything in my life. And the fact that I'm eating more is making me want to binge eat, and I am trying not to, actually, because this is my first week and I'm starting to eat more, and I went from a calorie deficit of about 250 to 500. I'm actually trying to take my time getting to maintenance. So I'm not 100% at maintenance yet. I'm like maybe still 100, 200 underneath that, but I'm getting there slowly, just because I'm going from eating at a calorie deficit of 500 to suddenly eating 500 more calories. I think that's a lot for me, especially on keto, because that means eating a bit more since I don't have a lot of carbs, and usually things with more carbs, from what I've seen so far, tend to have a bit more calories, depending on what it is. But I'm kind of like increasing 100 or so, like 50, 100 more each day. I'm definitely gonna get there. Yeah. So take your time getting yourself to maintenance, because once again, these 2 weeks where you are not going to be in a deficit, where you are not going to restrict yourself, your weight is going to fluctuate so much in those 2 weeks. It's because your body is getting adjusted. So that's what I keep telling myself, is we're getting adjusted. So yeah. So we are almost a week into our 3rd month of keto, our maintenance month. We are dealing with fluctuating weights and everything. I do want to say what's actually been helping me get through the anxiety of losing all the weight I lost to gaining it and gaining it kind of drastically in this first week is actually seeing a lot of I wouldn't call them transformation photos, but for a lack of a better term, transformation photos. And there's a lot of women specifically putting up these images where it's like, this is what I was eating when I was at 1,200 calories in a calorie deficit. This is what I was eating at maintenance, or like X amount, and this is where I'm at 1,800 calories a day. And you can see it. They went from like skinny fat and started getting more and more toned and more fit. So in a way, it's kind of just like, okay, there is hope after this, and we can eat more and still slim down, tone down, build up that muscle. So definitely, if you can, to help you get through this phase, get some posts that inspire you, some pictures, some quotes, whatever works, and use that to help you push through. Because definitely when you look at the scale, these first 2 weeks, if you're like me, you are having a lot of anxiety, but you're still pushing through it. So I'm just trying to help you guys out the way I am being helped out by these girls who are not afraid to show their results and let people know, hey, I'm more fit now, but I'm eating more as well. And this is my transition throughout it all. Hi everybody, so we are finally at day 7 of our 3rd month of keto, and I will say eating more food, I actually feel so much better, but what's actually getting me through it is taking it in multiple meals, because I am finding that I'm getting fuller faster. But I need to eat more because we're trying to go into maintenance, and I have to get my body out of this restrictive phase. I will say though that I am noticing when I weigh myself daily that the water weight is starting to come off, even though I'm eating maintenance, and you'll definitely see that with our weekly fit check. So for the most part, I'm eating more, I'm feeling better, and I personally feel like at some point, either the end of this week or next week, it's going to even out and my body's going to adjust to eating at maintenance. My weight won't fluctuate as much, and hopefully my body fat will start to just go up, and that'd be amazing. But for now, let's get to the weekly fit check. So we're here with our weekly fit check, and if you know the drill, I'm gonna give you my stats first. So here it is. This is everything. As you can see, my weight and everything went down. A lot of my stats went down, even though I'm eating at maintenance. And then I'm also gonna show you here that weight fluctuation for the week. So as you can see, like, I started really high. I don't know if you remember that my ending of last month and my beginning of last month were roughly the same. Everything was going down, and then suddenly it just went back up and stayed there. And now it's going down. And it feels like all the water weight I had just vanished. Just vanished. I hope it stays that way, but for the most part, it vanished. And here is my body fat percentage. As you can see, it went down again. Very, very thankful. And from here, we are going to now have our waist measurement. And for the first time in I think like a month, I have finally started to lose inches in my waist. So my current waist right now is 27.25. That for me is phenomenal, because the last time I saw any waist reduction of that amount, or even any amount, was the 2nd week of my 2nd month. So we are down 0.25 inches. Now let's go into our overall stats from where I started to where I'm at now. And I'm gonna go over some of the numbers about where I ended at the end of last month, which is technically the beginning of this month. So this week I weigh 125.6 pounds. My body fat percentage is 31.7, and my waist is now 27.25. So last month I actually ended at 128.6 pounds. I am now 125.6. That's a 3-pound difference. And then with my body fat percentage, I was 32.8. Now I'm 31.7. That's 1.1%. And of course, as we mentioned with waist, I went down 0.25 inches. So I remember at the beginning of this week, I was gaining weight. I didn't understand where it was going. What was going on, because at the time I had been on a restricted diet. I was at a calorie deficit, and now I'm doing maintenance. And like a lot of people have said, give it a week, give it 2 weeks. Your body needs time to adjust. Most likely it is not fat that you gained when you're gaining weight. It's actually water weight or glycogen storage. So don't be hard on yourself. I personally don't know 100% if my body is in maintenance. There is a chance next week it could go back up just from eating more. But for the most part, we are going to at least take it easy with ourselves for these first 2 weeks, just to give our body time to adjust. But changes are being made and progress is being made, and that's what matters. Hi everybody, so we're at day 8, and we I officially have worked out. I'm actually doing Pilates at home, probably for the rest of this month, just because on top of kind of having issues with the gym, which they still have not fixed, I also developed runner's knee from doing 12-3-30. So runner's knee is, I don't even know the scientific word for it, but it's pretty much too much strain on your knee, and sometimes being on a treadmill can do that, especially depending on the incline. So I was doing, of course, a 12 incline, a 3-mile-per-hour pace, and for 30 minutes, and it was too stressful on my knee. So I would actually say, depending on your height, that might actually make a difference, because me running at like 5 miles per hour compared to somebody else that's way taller than me, they're 5 miles per hour. I'll look like I'm speeding down the track, they'll look like they're jogging. So I'm pretty sure me doing 3 miles per hour, which is just really a brisk, fast walk compared to somebody else taller than me, where that would be like a nice pace, calm walk through a park. It's different. So if you feel any pain, take some time out, ice out where that pain is, elevate it, take care of yourself. That way you could avoid what's happening to me, which is a runner's knee, which I haven't. It's been like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and they say it could take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks for it to heal. Sometimes it never heals, but I have been stretching. I'm doing Pilates to see if that helps out with that and takes off the strain. So we're at home, we're working out, and even if it's just a few minutes a day, it's something. And hopefully by the end of this month, I'll be able to go back into the gym and really start to lift heavy again. But regardless, we're at maintenance and we're still working out. Hey everybody, so we're at day 9 of our 3rd month of keto, and I would say one of the biggest things, one of my biggest takeaways from doing keto in general is just that it has actually helped me control my eating a lot better, in terms of not just snacking, but overeating on meals and things like that. I find that nowadays I actually notice when I'm full. And you know, one thing I heard is like, if you eat with your eyes closed, you'll listen to your stomach more and you'll know when you're full, because a whole bunch of people tend to just say, oh, here's a full plate of food, I have to finish the whole thing, even if their body is saying, hey, I'm stuffed, don't give me more. And a lot of times I'm also finding out that I'm not actually hungry, I'm thirsty. And I did look this up. Your body cannot differentiate between thirst and hunger. So sometimes when you think you're hungry, you might just be a little dehydrated and need some water. So if you take like a glass of water before you eat, you can find out, hey, I'm actually not hungry, I'm completely satisfied by water. But also, thanks to keto, now when I do get something to eat, I'm taking my time with it, and I'm noticing that I'm getting fuller faster, which is actually making me not eat as much, and it's kind of helping me out because I'm feeling full, but I'm not feeling stuffed or lazy or anything or any itis after it. So I definitely want to say huge shout out to keto because of how somewhat restrictive of a diet it is. I am actually learning how to take my time eating, enjoying my food, and really figuring out, am I hungry or am I thirsty? So, progress overall. Everybody, we are at our 10th day, so that means we are officially 1/3 of the way through our 3rd month. And once again, when we reach that 3rd month, that end of it, We are halfway through our keto journey. I cannot believe it. But overall, I want to say that this third month has been one of the more easier months for me, partially because I get to eat a little bit more, but also because it's now a habit. And I do feel like I'm more motivated now that I don't have to really think about food too much because it's already habitual, that I'm more motivated now to work out, and I'm working out consistently. So if you saw 2 days ago, I started working out, took a day off, gonna work, and I worked out again today. So progress, progress, progress. We are motivated, we are healing, we are getting so much better. I started today feeling a little bit bloated, which of course increased my weight, increased my waist. But I have been getting through the day by drinking a bit more water. It's very important. Aside from managing how you eat and working out, making sure you get enough water, at bare minimum, personally, I drink half a gallon. I usually drink a quarter of a gallon before I even leave the house, and then another quarter throughout the day, minimum, just minimum. But if you can, try to go anywhere between a half a gallon to a whole gallon. I know if you are really working out, definitely try to go for that gallon of water a day. One, it's gonna help flush everything out your system, because when you're burning fat, it's not like it comes out your pores. You gotta flush it out. But also, it helps to curb your hunger, because like I said, sometimes you are either hungry or thirsty. Your body doesn't really differentiate. You just get the pangs. So drink water. If you drink water also before you eat, it actually fills up your stomach, so you end up eating less. That's a secret. It's a secret fact. So for instance, just drinking 1 cup of water before you eat and take your time eating, you're actually not going to eat as much because you're gonna get fuller faster because the water is there taking up space. And yeah, just make sure you get your water intake. It's gonna help with bloating, and it's also surprisingly going to help with water weight, because your body's not gonna be holding on to that extra water weight, because it's gonna say, hey, I'm in a place where I am getting water consistently throughout the day. All this water weight, we could just let it go. So that's what's been helping me deal with the bloating, dealing with the weight fluctuations, and everything. Hey everybody, so I want to remind you that muscle weighs way more than fat. So if you see the scale going up during this time or during our next couple months, and you're just like, I started working out, I don't know why it's like this, honestly, there is a chance you could be gaining muscle. Also, because I started this new workout regimen, I am fully aware that my weight is going to fluctuate a lot, especially in the beginning, because when you do work out, your muscle tears, there's inflammation, which can also lead to weight gain. But that's just like water weight. It'll come right off once your body gets adjusted to it. So don't beat yourself down. You are making great progress. And now that we are getting more consistent with workouts, everything is going to change. Even if you're just doing small workouts at home or lifting heavy at the gym, we are making progress while we are doing our third month of keto. I'm going to have to admit to you that now that I'm eating more in maintenance, which means I'm eating a bit more than I was, everything around me is so tempting. I cannot tell you how much I miss fries, and I'm just like, I just want so much fries, but I'm not going to. By the way, fun fact, one regular cut fry is 1 gram of carbs, or 1.1, around that area. So there have been times where I have enough carb space within my carb measurement, because I'm doing only 20 grams of carbs, so I'll have enough to be like, okay, I could have 5 fries. And when I tell you, I enjoy each and every single one of those fries, and I take my time with it. And I don't think I have appreciated food as much as I have until keto, because now that I'm watching it so much, and then I get those few little like snacks, because I haven't had a cheat day since I started, but I have like maybe a fry or two. It all still fits within my limit, and man, you just really learn to enjoy your food and take your time with your food when you're on keto, and not overeat. So I look forward to the day when I could have a cake or something, but I also feel like on that day, I'm not gonna eat as much as I used to, and I'm gonna really take my time to enjoy it, and that will make all the difference for me going forward. Because before I would just scarf it down and want more, and now I'm just like, this could be the only piece I have, so let me just enjoy it now. So we're here on day 14. I will admit that I am starting to feel a little bit sluggish, bloated, everything. So my stats, I'm not gonna be really too surprised if anything goes up. Also, because I started really working out this week. Once again, when you work out and there's muscle tears, there can also be inflammation and water retention from that. So with that being said, let's go to our weekly fit check. So of course I'm gonna start with my stats. As you can see, here is everything. And then with my weight, as always, it's fluctuating up and down, but as you can see, I got to the lowest I've ever been in my entire 3 months of doing keto, which was a bit surprising for me considering I am now eating in maintenance and not a deficit. So that was a bit shocking. But of course, it went back up a little bit. Once again, I'm not surprised because I started working out, so there's inflammation there, water retention, either or, who knows. But here is also my body fat percentage, also fluctuating again. I had one day where my body fat percentage went down even though my weight went up, but after that day it's kind of just been the same. So I'm hoping that the more and more I work out, the more that difference is going to happen. And then here is my waist measurement. It did go up 0.5 inches. I'm trying not to be hard on myself because I know that the more you eat, the more your body is adjusting to all these changes. And like I mentioned before, I give myself at least 2 weeks just for my body to get used to maintenance and everything like that. Of course, now is time for the comparison from when I started this entire keto journey to my first week in this 3rd month to my 2nd week. As you can see, my weight for this week is 126.2, my body fat percentage is 31.9, and then my waist is once again 27.75 inches. So everything went up. My weight went up 0.6 pounds. My body fat percentage is up 0.2%, and then my waist is 0.5 inches. So we'll see if this levels off now that my body has gotten some time to adjust to eating at maintenance. But once again, the goal here is to lose body fat and gain muscle at the end of the day, and keto is supposed to help us use those fat stores that we have to get rid of that body fat that we have on our body instead of using carbs as energy. So hopefully we'll make progress as time goes on. So back in the day, I used to think Pilates was not a hard workout. That is a lie, a complete lie, because I have been doing Pilates roughly 3-4 times so far, and every single day after my workout, I am sore. And when I started like years ago, I used to think, oh, Pilates isn't a hard workout because there's no weights, there's no resistance. It is hard. It is very, very hard holding up your body weight, working with your body weights, not taking a break to like just flop down on the floor. So shout outs to Pilates for proving me wrong. And then on top of that, because of how it is and because my knee is still healing, I think while I'm in this maintenance for this month and next month, I might just stick to Pilates, and then when it gets to gains, I'll go in with more strength training to get much harder resistance. But I definitely understand why Pilates builds and tones long, lean muscles, which can help slim you out instead of bulking you up. So shout out to everybody doing Pilates, because it is much harder than it looks. Even if the moves are simple, oof, it is much harder than it looks. We are on our next day of our keto journey. This is our 3rd month and 16th day. Can't believe that we are already halfway through our 3rd month of keto, almost halfway through our entire journey. This is a 6-month journey of keto. I don't really have much of an update for you guys today because it's honestly just sticking within those 20 grams of carbs. I haven't really been seeing much of a difference in terms of toning or anything on my body, but I do know I just started working out again. That could make all the difference. And also, like I said, if you're building muscle at this time and losing fat, you're not really going to see much of a difference on a scale. You're not really going to see much of a difference in clothes unless you're doing it for like over a month, I would say, because your body's adjusting. And I will say though, my clothes are fitting a bit better, so maybe we are body recomping at this time. But as always, it's just this maintenance part is really just about being patient with yourself and having faith that things are going to work out. So that's where we're at. We're just being patient with ourselves and we're being consistent. It's day 17 and I really, really want to make sure I take time out to speak about this. Ever since I started keto, I feel like I've actually been managing my stress a lot better. Certain things aren't taking me over the top that used to. I will say though, in my 1st month, beyond stress, like complete breakdown, blow up. But I think that was just partially because I was dealing with a lot and because I was learning to manage keto at the same time, and I couldn't go to my comfort foods, and I had to rebuild healthier habits to deal with stress as well as to deal with eating. And now that I am almost fully 3 months in, I will say managing my stress that is already there, still there, it's gotten much easier. I'm not going for the comfort foods in the way that I have, or at least the bad comfort foods. And I notice I'm starting to look at more healthier recipes, healthier foods, healthier snacks. How do I make my own food? And cooking your own food is one of the best things you can do on keto. Just because I find that 1, it's a lot less calories. 2, you can really keep track of your carbs, and you can kind of, in a way, eat more because you know exactly what's going in your meal and how you're cooking it. And you'd be surprised just how much more you can eat when you make your own food. So yeah, we are managing our stress better, we are eating healthier, and I just want to say I fully believe keto has helped me with that, because I can't go to my comfort snacks and just like let all that happen, and I had to learn how to deal with it because of this food adjustment. So yeah. Hey everybody, so I'm in a little bit of a dilemma because I'm fully aware that I am at like above 30% body fat, and my ideal goal to be is around like 20. So it's a lot of body fat to lose, and I feel like I'm not seeing the body fat go down in comparison with everything else, you know, like still here. I know it's gotten a lot smaller, but a lot of that was due to cutting, and I'm not sure if I want to go back into cutting just because it lowers your metabolism so much. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, how do I lose more body fat even though I'm eating more, you know? So I'm really trying to decide if I need to either cut more or work out more. But that's the dilemma I'm at, just because at this maintenance level, I'm not really seeing as much changes looking in the mirror each time compared to before. So I'm having a hard time right now trying to stay optimistic with maintenance. And then I know it might be a bit harder with gains, not 100% sure, but I'm trying to stick it out with maintenance and just keep going, but I am having a hard time. So trying not to go back to cutting because I feel like it was too low calories for me and it didn't put me in a good mood. But right now it's hard and I'm trying to stick to it, but I will admit that I am having difficulty, and I understand why so many people just stay in, like once they go to maintenance and they start gaining or they're not seeing as much changes, they run back to a diet. And I don't want that. In the long run, I want to be able to eat what I want to eat and feel confident in my body, but I will admit I am struggling with not seeing the results the way I was with cutting. So I was feeling a bit down the other day about being in maintenance, not really seeing a lot of results, and then wanting or thinking about going back to cutting. Right now, I feel like looking at my pictures that I do every single week, the differences, the videos, I would say that completely changed my mind because you really don't see any differences when you're looking at yourself in the mirror every single day. But when you take a week apart photos, or even 2 weeks apart or a month apart, you can really see the difference. So I know the differences aren't big now that I'm in maintenance, but they're still there. I still can see, like, compared to my first week to my second week, there's parts where there's a bit slimmer, the shape is a little bit different, and definitely comparing it to when I started this whole journey, it's drastically different, and I can't even believe I was at where I was when I started, because I'm looking in the mirror right now and it's just so different. So I will say, whenever you're feeling low, whenever you're feeling down, take a look at your comparison pictures. If you are starting this journey, or any workout journey, any keto journey, any diet, whatever, any transitional journey, try to take pictures at least once a week, at least a week apart, you know, max. Because if you're taking every day, you're not really going to see the difference. But if you take it like a week apart, you can start to see subtle differences. Or 2 weeks apart, you'll definitely have more of a visual of how much steps forward you've taken. Because looking at yourself every day, you see yourself every day, you're not really going to notice how much of a difference you have gotten or how far you've gotten. So my best recommendation, take pictures feel confident in yourself, take them at least once a week. And whenever you're feeling low, take a look at how far you've come, because you've come very, very far. I just want to put out here that for everybody that says progress is made in the kitchen versus the gym, I will definitely 100% say at least 70 to 80% of fat loss, maintenance, and everything is in the kitchen. Because for me, I used to, prior to starting keto the year before, I used to work out like maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 times a week, strength training. And I would barely see any changes, any differences. Yes, there would be some parts that were stronger, much lifted, but a lot of the body fat was there, the weight was still kind of there. And it wasn't until going on keto and actually taking a look at what I need for my body and how to do a deficit for me and making sure my food intake was good, that I actually started to drop a lot of the pounds and a lot of the inches and keep it off. So I think learning how to eat for yourself, taking your time, being patient with yourself, it's okay. There used to be a time where I used to eat chocolate every single day, and getting off sweets is a bit hard because, you know, those sugar cravings don't really go away. But once I did that, I noticed a lot of things started to change for me. And same cutting other things out. Take your time with it and listen to yourself, listen to your body, and be aware of what's a craving and what's not, you know. But definitely when it comes to the kitchen, show it some love and then supplement it with some workouts. Because if you're here just doing workouts, as somebody who's been on like 2.5 months of keto and just seeing how drastic the change was, just focus on eating. Because remember, I only started really working out consistently like maybe last week, and a lot of these changes were literally just food based, making sure I'm keeping track of my food intake and everything like that. So take your time, be patient with yourself. I know we see a lot of people in the gym right now, but if you're not ready for that, that is okay, because you're already doing 70 to 80% of the work at home, making sure you're eating well. Hey everybody, so we're finally up to our 3rd week in our 3rd month of keto, which is amazing to say. I will admit right now I am tired, but definitely the energy level of being on keto, amazing. No matter how tired I am, I'm not completely drained. Now, I will say though, one thing I'm very interested in is kind of upping my protein, especially as I build. So right now I'm still under my 20 grams of carbs. I've kind of lowered my fat intake and increased my protein, especially because now I'm starting to work out more. And on top of that, I want to start building muscle as I go. It's not entirely in my head that, oh, after a month I'll completely change once I start building muscle. I know it's going to take progress, it's going to take time, which is why I'm doing these videos, because I know one of the places I lose fat the fastest is my face. So I really just want to see my day-by-day change instead of just a sudden, oh, I went from this to this, you know? Because as you guys know, if you've actually watch these videos full out, it's a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, and like I said, this month, outside of my first month where I was adjusting to keto for the first time, getting used to it, getting hangry, this month has been the most emotionally draining, simply because I'm eating at maintenance and then everything's going up, I'm barely seeing changes, and it's stressful, but it's progress. And I know once we get to gains, once we really start building, it's it's gonna make all the difference. So in the meantime, let's go to our weekly fit check. As always with our weekly fit check, I'm going to start with my stats. As you can see, everything is on here. I'm not all in the green yet, but I will get there. It takes progress, it takes time, and I'm not trying to give myself any unrealistic goals or unrealistic expectations, I should say, right? But here is my weight. You see in the middle of the week, you can see that there was a point where I was at the lowest I've ever been, which I was a bit surprised about because, you know, I'm in maintenance. I'm not in a calorie deficit really right now. So seeing that my weight went down, but we're making progress. We really are my main goal overall is just to lose that body fat. Everything else, my weight, it's secondary compared to that. I do admit that there's times where my weight does go up and it hits me hard, but that's just because it's so ingrained in me that your weight matters. Your weight does not matter, because if you're building muscle, muscle weighs twice as much as fat. So if we switch that out, it's okay if your weight goes up, because you're still gonna look slim. You might look slim thick, you might look toned, it doesn't matter, but you're gonna have less body fat. Speaking of body fat, this is my body fat. Also, once again, the fluctuations there. And I'm still working on getting myself to a point where my body fat goes down, regardless of if my weight goes up. So I know, once again, that is gonna take time and I have a lot more work to do. Now, from here, we're gonna go to my waist. And I don't know if you remember last week, my waist went up and it kind of felt like, damn, all the hard work that I went through, it is just not working out anymore, and I'm gaining everything back, and now it's starting to drop again. So I don't know if that was bloating, I don't know if that was just a week I happened to eat a bit more, or if it was because I started working out, and when you start working out, or when you're working out, there's a little bit of inflammation as well as water retention. So I'm not 100% sure where that's coming from, but it's going down. And now here is our comparison videos, of course, from when I started keto about 2 months and 3 weeks ago, to my first week, this third month, my second week, and now my third week. So here we are. And my current weight is 126 pounds. My body fat is 32.1, and my waist size is 27.5. So in this 1 week, I gained 0.4 pounds. I gained 0.2% body fat, but I lost 1/4 inch on my waist. So it went down 0.25 inches. Very, very thankful. At the end of the day, any progress is progress, and that's what matters. So I am actually hitting a lazy slump. I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't been working out lately, but I am using this lazy slump time to kind of plan out certain things to kind of motivate myself to work out again. So as I mentioned, like, I just have a few things to take care of, and then I'm gonna go back into the gym. But I am doing Pilates workouts at home. Getting used to that. Pilates is very hard. If I haven't said that before, I need to say it again. It is harder than it looks, and you do wake up sore the next day, even if you do a 10-minute Pilates workout. So definitely kind of incorporating that more. I'm gonna go back into that maybe in 2 days, just because I have to get myself together and take care of things. And I think right now my body is telling me I need to rest, because I haven't really rested all week, and a little bit of last week, if not all of last week as well. And I feel like it's starting to hit me, because there's times where I feel like I haven't been hitting my goals for eating, and I haven't been eating necessarily at maintenance just because of the stress or because I'm too focused on something else that I forget. So I am 100% still within my 20 grams of carbs. Sometimes I'm less than that, sometimes I get down to like 10 grams, but for the most part, I'm in my 20 grams of carbs. I had one day, I think, where I was over by just 5 grams, but I was still in the 25 gram carb limit. Yeah, but I'm still within my carb goals. I am trying my best to keep on top of that, and once I get my maintenance under control, I think I'll be doing a lot better. So be patient with me, be patient with yourself. Right now we are on a rest day today, one more rest day tomorrow, and we'll be great and we'll be ready to go. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I will admit that today I actually had my first ever keto cheat day, and it wasn't my fault, but it kind of was my fault. I am 42 grams instead of 20 grams, so in a way I might still be in keto because the relaxed version is up to 50 grams, but I have read that there are some people where going over 20, like going to 30 to 40, actually kicks them out of ketosis. So I'm not 100% sure about that. But for me, what happened today is we went out of town with a group, and I ate breakfast, a very big protein-heavy breakfast to get me through, but we ended up being there a lot longer than we expected. And of course, when you're coming home with a group, you kind of don't really have a say when you get to go home. And I hadn't eaten all day, and it was going to take me like 2-3 hours to get home. So I was more thinking like, how can I sustain myself? So that is why I did the cheat day today, because if I didn't eat, I would have been severely starved, especially because the only meal I had was breakfast. And there was nothing else in the area that was keto. Every single protein, even down to vegetables and stuff, all had some fried aspect. But I will say, eating my non-keto meal, I didn't actually finish it, and I was able to take my time in it, my time with it, and be more conscious of how much I'm eating. One thing I noticed is a lot of things that we are served as a serving, that we think is a serving, it's not. It's probably like 2-3 servings, like one big plate. So definitely those to go take home boxes when you go out to eat, get them, because chances are if you eat everything on the plate and it's a fully loaded plate, I almost guarantee you, depending on where you are, what country you are in, it is going to be more than a serving. Hey everybody, so we're here at day 24. We're almost all the way to the end of our 3rd month of keto. I did have a cheat day yesterday, and to be honest with you, because of the circumstance, I don't feel guilty about it. And I don't think anybody should really feel too guilty about having a cheat day, especially if you've been very consistent with your diet or whatever plan you have. So I think maybe every once in a while it's okay, as long as you remind yourself to get back on the wagon. I will say though that compared to every day before the cheat day, I do feel a bit more sluggish, more tired, and less energetic. I don't know if that has to do with the excess carbs that I have or not, but pretty much today and going forward, it's really about getting myself back into ketosis, which could, like in the beginning, take anywhere between 2-3 days to a week to get into. So hopefully at least by the end of this month, I'll be back in ketosis and really seeing a change. I'm actually wondering if, since I fell off yesterday and pushed myself out of ketosis, if the next few days or even the beginning of my next month of keto, if I'll see a significant drop, like how I did in the beginning where I lost 10 pounds in a month. So we'll see what happens. This is all a learning process for all of us. So we're here on day 25 of keto, almost up to our 4th week on our 3rd month, almost done with our 3rd month. And I want to say, like, for the past couple days, one, I was hitting a lazy slump, then I had a cheat day. Yesterday, I was just so over it. But now that I'm back into keto, back into the swing of things, I am starting to feel a bit more energized and everything. As you can tell, I actually did my hair today, so definitely a lot more energy. But I will say, surprisingly, my weight has been dropping even though I'm eating at maintenance. So once again, I definitely have to keep better track of that, especially when I go into games in 2 months. But also, I want to make sure that it is not the stress that is causing me to lose weight and reacting bad to me actually taking time to work out and everything. Because sometimes stress could either cause you to gain a lot of weight or cause you to not eat enough and lose a lot of weight. So definitely need to keep better track of my stress levels, and that is one thing I learned more than anything, is that you could be going to the gym every single day, doing an actual strong workout. You could be eating very, very well, but if you are not managing your stress, then it is like pushing a boulder up a mountain. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but if you learn to manage your stress, it'll be like picking up a pebble and taking it up that mountain. So definitely take time out to take care of yourself, which is why, once again, I said I'm not mad if I don't work out, because I know I need the rest and I need to take care of myself first. I'm not mad about my cheat day because it was either that or starving for so many hours, and I need to take care of myself first. That is the only way we can move forward, is being patient with ourselves, and if we fall off the wagon, that's fine. We could get back on the wagon. I am pretty sure that I am back in ketosis. 1, because my energy has gone way up. And 2, I feel like I am starting to notice that I am getting slimmer in my love handle area, which is my most problematic area. And for years, I have not been able to make a dent in it. So in my head, I'm just like, the fat that's being used for energy is coming from right there. So I'm back in ketosis, I'm pretty sure. Or at least I'm just gonna keep telling myself that, because I'm gonna stick it out much longer. I'm hoping I don't end up having another cheat day, because I really want to just stay in keto this whole time. But once again, if you do have a cheat day, try to make it maybe at least once a month or even less than that, just because it does take a couple of days to get back into ketosis once you go over. I am feeling a bit low because a lot of things in my life are not working out, except for keto. I don't know why, but right now keto is the only thing working out for me. And I'm beyond thankful for that, because at least I'm kind of slimming down, toning up, burning that fat, and that makes all the difference. But I also don't know if it's just like, this is the one thing that's kind of really in my control compared to everything else, which is kind of factored by something else. But I am super appreciative to keto, because it really is the one thing going great in my life. So just for everybody else, I want to say, because doing this is hard and dealing with regular life stuff is hard, is keto is within your power to control how far you go, how far you come, whether you're working out or not. And even if it's the only thing that's kind of working out and you're not seeing much difference, but you're still being consistent with it, that one thing makes all the difference and can make everything so much better. So whatever you're going through, you're gonna get through it. Let's just take it one day at a time, and let's just try to go and keep it within the keto process. Since we are doing good, you've come a long way. If this is your first month doing it, you are already at day 27, almost 4 weeks in. If this is your third month, along with me, doing it, then you are almost 3 months in. So try just to keep your head up and keep going, because you can do it. I'm doing it with you, and we're gonna get through it together. Hi everybody, so we're finally here at day 28. This makes 4 weeks into our third month of keto, and I will admit to you, I am still hitting a low energy-wise. I am a bit upset that I'm still hitting a low, because every time I look up keto and how's it supposed to feel and people talking about it, everybody's like, oh, I have so much more energy. And I want to admit, like, there are times where I do feel like I have so much energy, but I wouldn't put it how everybody's putting it. I would say it feels like I don't get tired as fast. Like, I have the same amount of energy when I'm on keto, when I'm off, but it's like when I'm off of keto, I just hit a point where I'm just drained. So the best way I would put it is, it's like you have the same battery, but on keto, you're using it more efficiently, so it lasts longer throughout the day. But off keto, you are just kind of burning it up. And I will say, with that being said, it doesn't mean I'm always going to be high energy all the time or have so much energy. Like today and the past couple days, I have just been on a low slump. And I think that's normal, but at the same time, I don't want to get the wrong idea and go, you're always supposed to have high energy, you're not going to be in a low slump. No, you get low slumps too on keto. And sometimes it gets to the point where you just don't have the energy to work out, don't have the energy to stretch, or you're just trying to get through your day. So that's where I'm at right now. I am in a low slump. I'm trying my best to find motivation and energy to do things other than my day-to-day, such as working out. But yeah, there are challenging times. Other than that though, let's get to our week 4 weekly fit check. Of course, with our week fit check, let's see the stats up there. As you can see, everything goes down. I'm still in that place where my water intake needs to be increased and my protein isn't as high. My body fat is going down, but it's still not in that green. So we still have a long way to go. Still working on it. And now here is my weight. As you can see, it's kind of just up and down, up and down, up and down, no matter what. And I'm more at peace with it now, knowing that no matter what, your weight's always going to fluctuate every single day. Why? Because you don't eat the same things every day. You don't go through the same things every day. You don't sleep the same amount every day. So be patient with yourself, especially as a woman, because your body goes through so many changes throughout a month, throughout a week, hormonal changes, that you're gonna have some days where you are bloating and that's going to increase the water weight, have more water retention, and you're going to have some days where you don't have that. So do not be too hard on yourself when that happens, because as you can see with my charts, it's just always up and down. Now with body fat, right now it's the same, but we are still on that decreasing decline, and I'm hoping that probably by my 4th or 5th month that it starts to get into the green. I still have a lot of work to do. Take it now to my waist measurement. This is the smallest I have been in a long time. I have finally hit that 27 inches. I am thankful, so thankful. But I also tell myself that the lowest my waist has ever been is 26. And I don't know if I'll get there, but I do know with where I'm at now, I want to maintain it. And if it goes down, it goes down. If it goes up, I'm a little bit sad. But if I can, let me see if I can maintain it. So I'm very grateful for that. And of course, now it is time for the comparison. And with the comparison, this week, I am at 124 pounds. So last week I was at 126.6. So I lost 2.6 pounds. Honestly, I think it's just the stress and the low slump, as well as probably hormonal changes. And then with body fat, I'm down to 31.2, coming from 32.1. So that is a 0.9% difference. And then with my waist, I went from 27.5 to just 27. That is obviously a 0.5 difference, half an inch gone. Thank you so much. I will say this month of keto has been the most challenging because eating in maintenance is not easy, especially with the fluctuations every day. But also I feel like because you're so used to eating in keto, if you're on your 3rd month with me, you're so used to it that everything else begins to kind of be more of your focus and everything else in your life, that it's just stressful. Like trying to figure out what to eat is a distraction. But we do our final monthly check in 2 days. So I'm really interested to see how much of a change those 2 days brings me. It could be good, it could be bad, we'll find out. I do want to say that when it comes to maintenance, one thing I have realized now that I am almost at the end of this 1st month of keto maintenance journey is that my maintenance is different from day to day because my weight is fluctuating day to day. Yes, you could get like pretty much like an average sum up of your maintenance. So for instance, me, my weight mainly fluctuated between 124 to like 126. So if I just wanted to be like the average, I'd do maintenance for around 125 just to kind of be average every single day. Of course, the more consistent you are with eating, the more consistent that'll be. But what I've found, because I do weigh myself every day and I do my calories based on what I weighed myself in the morning, that my maintenance, it goes up, it goes down just as much. But for the most part, it's roughly in that same area. Maybe it'll be up 10 calories or down. So maintenance is kind of different every single day. And then on top of that, looking back at my video for the week 4 fit check and looking at it in comparison with the other weeks as well as the beginning, a lot of my changes this time around, this month around, were very subtle. I didn't really notice it unless like I zoomed in and really compared it back to back. But it's very subtle changes. And like for instance, I noticed my love handles. It's not that easy to tell because the shape is kind of still there, but I noticed that, for instance, in my week 1, 2, and 3, it was a little bit like obvious. And then now, week 4, it was a bit smoother. So it's like nitpicking. But for the most part, a lot of my changes now that I'm in maintenance is subtle. I think the next month it's going to be very subtle as well. I think with gains, it's going to start subtle, but depending on how hard I work, it could be a bit more obvious with the changes. But even if you're not seeing changes, that does not mean nothing is happening. You know, it could literally be changes or weight loss in places you never even thought of. For instance, maybe you don't measure your thighs, but that's where you're losing weight at. Or maybe you don't measure your arms, but that's where you're losing weight at. Or maybe you can't see your back, and that is where the definition is coming from, you know? So be patient with yourself, take your time, and keep going. If you are with me on this 6-month journey, we are about to be halfway through. And if you are just starting your keto journey and this is where you start with me and it's your first month, you are almost done. Just one more day. We're finally here on day 30, the last day of our 3rd month of keto. And I do want to say that this confidence I'm building in myself, it's hard work, it's a daily commitment, and it isn't just a keto journey for me anymore. It's really just learning not to be too hard on myself, learning to appreciate all the ups and downs, and, you know, outside of food that I had to deal with, the changing food in month 1, this has been the hardest month emotionally, mentally, and that's mainly because you don't really see much of a difference when you're in maintenance. You don't really see much of a difference when you're recomping. You only really see the difference at the end result. So with that being said, let's get to my end result. All right, everybody, so we are here with our month 3 fit check. Of course, we're starting off with these stats. I don't know if you remember my stats from week 4 fit check, but everything kind of went a little bit up. That is okay, because we already know it's a 2-day difference. Your weight can fluctuate, so it's not too bad. Now we'll go back into my waist measurements. This is how my waist has changed for the past week, including that weekly fit check. So of course, fluctuating everywhere. And then we have my body fat percentage, still on that up and down, but definitely from where I started to where I'm at now, it's gone down. So thankful. And my waist measurement, surprisingly, did not fluctuate in these past 2 days. I thought it would. But we are still at that 27 inches, easy. So I'm very thankful and very happy about that. Now let's go to my comparison from when I started this journey to where I'm at the end of this month 3. Here we are, and on today I weigh 125.4, which is 31.7% body fat and 27 inches in my waist. Compared to our last weekly fit check, I gained 1.4 pounds. I gained 0.5% in body fat, and there was no change in inches. Now, over the course of this whole month, this one's important. Over the course of this month, I have lost 3.2 pounds. I have lost 1.1% in body fat, and I have lost 0.5 inches, so half an inch. That's amazing to me because I did not actually expect to lose anything when it came to maintenance. And as I said, when I've looking at my results for week 4 and comparing it to everything, it took me a while to see that a lot of the changes were subtle. And I was initially, prior to that week, kind of beating myself down, just saying, there's no changes, my weight is going up, I haven't lost anything in inches. And we finally got to week 4 and I started dropping some of that. Or at least I feel like I started dropping some of that and noticing some changes, some differences. So this is one of those things where it's like you gotta keep chugging forward. Now I have 1 more month of maintenance coming up and I can't wait to go through that with you guys. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you in month 4.